Welcome back to Donline Pro. Today I'm going back over the AFC NFC Championship breakdown, starting with the NFC Championship game. 49ers versus Eagles. I thought previously that the 49ers, they were going to put up a good fight. They had Brock Purdy, unbelievable amount of weapons on that team, and their defense had been the best in the league all year. I was wrong, and I think some of it was definitely due to the circumstances that came with it. Um, just losing Brock Purdy early in the game, and that injury. I was really confused by that injury because I don't know if it looks like it's got to be like Tommy John or something like that. I'm not sure what else that would be. It looks like a kind of a base, but because he couldn't palm a football, so it was weird. Besides the point, they lose him on the first drive. Eagles take him out of the game. You have to put in Josh Johnson at this point, and already there your odds are going to be limited. But later in that game, Josh Johnson goes down. It's like, who are we going to have take snaps? And they're having McCaffrey back there taking snaps. Purdy can't throw. So that just brings up the question in it itself. Why do you not dress three quarterbacks in that situation there? Um, I would if I were them. I get why you wouldn't because you want an extra guy on special teams, but I probably would have dressed three quarterbacks in that spot or just dress Jimmy G at the very least. I know he wasn't 100%, but they were talking about him coming back for the Super Bowl or almost being ready this week. Why not? It doesn't make sense to me why they wouldn't just dress him just in case. But I mean, they paid the consequences for it, and it's unfortunate. And the Eagles, they had their way with them, and they just pretty much blew them out. This game was never close. Um, it was a really bizarre game. There were like weird things that were happening. There was a punt where it like hit a wire and the refs couldn't. It was a weird game, but nonetheless, it was a blowout, and the Eagles are on their way to the Super Bowl. Um, I think that they'll fare pretty well in the Super Bowl. I'll get to the AFC Championship game later, but their only concern that I could see in that game is Hurts. You can tell the mechanics of his throwing. It's not there 100%. It could be better right now with his mechanics and stuff. We'll see. We'll see what the report is when it comes back. But without his health properly there, he's not going to be able to get the ball to AJ Brown and Devontae Smith properly. So that's one thing. But other than that, the defense played great. The run game was good as usual. I think they broke the record or something for the most rushing touchdowns in a ridiculous year for the Eagles. And, I doubted them. I'm not going to lie. I doubted them because I didn't know if Hurts could get there. I thought they were a young roster, but they probably had one of the easier paths. If you look at it, that Giants game blowout, this game blowout, two pretty easy games when you factor losing the quarterbacks with the 49ers, but still, nonetheless, they did the job. They won the games they were supposed to win in there. So we'll see. We'll see. Going to the AFC Championship, first of all, what a game this was. And this is the fourth game between Mahomes, Burrow, this new Bengals-Chiefs rivalry. These guys, they don't like each other at all. There's bad blood there between them. But what a game this was. 23-20 was the final score. Chiefs took it. And a lot of people in Cincinnati are, complaining about the refs, and I get it. I get the refs. They got to be better than that. There were some bad calls in this game. There were some bad calls in this game with that one thing where they gave them an extra play. I've never seen that before. I don't know. I don't know how you make that mistake. You could see like people were like Zach Taylor was about to lose his mind. If I was Zach Taylor there, I would have taken my team. I thought he was about to do it. I would have taken my team and I would have just walked off. I would have walked them off and I would have said, "What is this? We're not doing this down." Because that was ridiculous. And then to have the balls on that ref to call that flag after is just ridiculous. On like a play where like it's probably a no call to call that, but at the end of the day, though, with this game, the Bengals did have chances to execute towards the end. even past all the penalties. They had a chance with the ball with like 2 minutes left. No, under a minute left. And they had to punt it away, and they had to give it back to the Chiefs, and they gave Mahomes, who's probably, I think he's now the best quarterback in the NFL. I thought it might be Burrow. I said in a previous video it could be Burrow. I think he's taking it back, Mahomes. Um, but I think that drive really solidified it, and there was that hit at the end, the late hit, and you can't really blame it on him. You can't Kuro or what his name was, whatever his name was. You can't really blame it on him because the kickoff return that they let up, ridiculous. To even let them be in that situation is ridiculous. And even if that penalty isn't thrown, he gets out of bounds. There's still 8 seconds left. With the way he's passing the ball, he's probably slinging one more, or they're probably getting 10 more yards. It probably would have been made up for anyway. Um, but yeah, it's tough if you're Cincinnati. We're forgetting their O line was just crippled in this game. And when your O line's crippled in a game like this, the protection, you could tell he was just getting drilled out there. It was difficult for him. So that's another huge factor that nobody's going to talk about. I thought the Chiefs kind of, they did there was the thing with the mayor where the Cincinnati mayor definitely, they probably watched that before the game. So that probably led into some of the stuff Kelsey and them were saying after the game. But, it wasn't the best sportsmanship when you factor in the mayor stuff. I guess it could pass, but it was a good win for the Chiefs. Obviously, they're going to be tough out in the Super Bowl. The thing is, how healthy are they going to be? He was throwing out there at times to like one starting guy, Valdes-Scantling, and the other guys were all hurt, and he was figuring out a way to do it somehow. Which this is why I think to do that in this league is so difficult, and you see so many quarterbacks that don't have the talent or the ability to elevate their teams. And to see Mahomes do that with only one receiver proves to me that right now he's the best quarterback in the league. So for the Super Bowl, I continue to go back and forth. This probably isn't going to be my final pick on this because we got 2 weeks. I got 2 weeks to figure out who I think is going to win. Right now, I'm going to say the Eagles because if Jalen Hurts can get healthy, I'll read the reports. But if he's healthy and their defense is just so good to the point where if the offense continues to play the way they are, even if he's somewhat injured, if their run game continues the way it is, they have a great shot. So right now, the prediction's probably with the Eagles, but overall, this was a great slate of games that we watched, and it was really